State on the last Saturday of every month under the guise of environmental sanitation exercise is illegal, unconstitutional. So we should be guided in whatever we are doing.
But environmental activist Onyekachi Okoro has a different view. He is happy with the reintroduction of monthly sanitation, telling Nigeria Info that Rivers people need to be reminded of the importance of keeping their environment clean.
It's important that people understand how important their environment is. And if Rivers State environment needs to enforce it, yes, let them enforce it. People have forgotten how to take care of the environment because the protection of the environment starts from the individual. And if we are only leaving the protection of the environment to only the Rivers State government, then we are not being fair. The environment starts from our compounds, starts from our gutters, starts from our waste bins. So I think the reintroduction of the sanitation is a welcome development.
Also, Okoro kicked against the plan to provide plastic bags for waste disposal, advising Ruwama to instead provide big paper bags to protect the environment. Crucially, the environment activists asked Ruwama to enforce sanitation with a human face.
Enforcement of households and compounds to participate in it is also very important. I think there should be also some kind of a community approach. So if you go to compounds where they are not actually carrying out sanitation, there should be mandatory awareness. Not like you are going to jail, it's mandatory awareness. Compounds are made to pay some little fines or some kind of a token that will enforce them such a way that next month they will have no choice but to participate in the sanitation session.
Still talking environment issues, President General of the Movement for the Development of Oyibo Ndoke as an ethnic nationality, Dr. Victor Obute, says flooding in Oyibo is caused mainly by flash floods, not rivers overflowing.
Should first start by government installing drainage systems in the internal roads. Some of the places where they try to construct road like the old Port Harcourt Aba Road, Omondino going to Tap Junction. The drainage system in those areas they constructed were channeled to people's home, and it makes floods to ravage the environment. So if the state government can have a policy of installing drainage systems in the internal roads in Oyibo urban areas, including the rural areas, it will go a long way to solve the flood situation.
He added that many residents have already abandoned their homes due to the flood, and noting that the flood committee formed by the local government administrator has done nothing visible.
The people are also contributing to cause the flooding by dumping refuse in the drainage systems where the drainage system exists the road, and it's the duties of government to empower environmental health officers to supervise how these people dump drainage in the system and instruct shop owners to move out drainages from the system. Oyibo Local Government Council should initiate and enforce monthly environmental sanitation.
Meanwhile, the Rivers State Central Working Committee on Flood Management, in collaboration with NEMA, has started a 5-day simulation exercise in Mbiama, Ahoda West. The training is meant to help local governments and communities improve flood response and emergency coordination. Away from that, the sole administrator of Rivers State, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Iba, says his administration is focused on building capacity and reforming institutions to meet the demands of modern governance. He was speaking at a 4-day capacity building training for accountants across ministries, departments, and agencies in the state, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Ibibia Lucky Warika. He urged participants to put the knowledge gained into practice to improve accountability, efficiency, and transparency in service delivery.
The knowledge you have acquired here must translate into better service delivery, greater accountability, and the prudent management of our collective resources. I would like to also appreciate, amongst others, the Acting Head of Service and the Permanent Secretary of Finance and Government House for their unwavering support in actualizing this program. I also commend the Office of the Accountant General for their dedication to raising the standard of financial administration in Rivers State.
In her remarks, the Acting Head of Service, Dr. Iyengi Brown, says she believes the training will introduce innovations to reposition the state's financial management system.
Your Excellency, sir, this training would not have been possible without your gracious approval of the release of the funds for its successful hosting. This singular act once again demonstrates your unmatched commitment to the growth, efficiency, and transformation of the River State workforce. We do not take this for granted. We say a big thank you for always investing in the people who make government work.
Our correspondent Emekoto can report that the Permanent Secretary of Government House, Loretta Davies Diba, also thanked the administrator for supporting the program. Time to talk politics. The APC in Ikwerre local government has rounded off its campaign ahead of the August 30th council elections in Rivers State. At the rally, the party state chairman, recognized by the national leadership, Tony Okocha, presented flags to candidates for councillors' positions across the 13 wards. He also charged the chairmanship candidate Charles Nwobodo and others to ensure inclusive governance if elected, while urging residents to vote APC.
Chairman, Vice Chairman, and 13 councillorship candidates. Please, you have seen the mammoth crowd that thronged out in their numbers to lend support to you, to add breadth to what you are doing. Please, we demand right now that when you go there, you do not expect individualistic leadership. We expect leadership of a collective. See our leaders here, carry everybody along. Dr. Samuel Wanosike, you have done excellently well. May God continue to bless you.
The leader of the Renewed Hope family in Ikwerre, Dr. Samuel Wanosike, told the crowd that Ikwerre people are committed to backing President Bola Tinubu for re-election in 2027. He insists it's their way of appreciating the president's human and infrastructural projects in the area and River State.
I want to assure you that the current local governments, we are happy with the Renewed Hope agenda. We have seen governments come and go, but I've never seen a government like Bola Tinubu's government. But the commitment we are making before you here is that by the grace of God Almighty, when INEC fixes their timetable for 2027 general election, mark it in your diary that the 13 wards of the current local government will be the first local government in Rivers State to result for President Bola Tinubu.
Our correspondent reports that the Director General of the Nwobodo and Ethel Kinika Campaign Council, Obinna Ekem, and the APC Vice Chairmanship candidate Ethel Kinika also said the party is already looking beyond the council polls, assuring a landslide win for President Tinubu in 2027 despite opposition from Amici and Omehia.
Beyond 30th of August, we have gone further to prepare for 2027. They said I should inform you that you also should let our leaders know, from the president and our leader, Muonyili, that we are also aware that 2 persons that is among the ADC that will have the capacity to effectively contain our brother Rotimi Amechi and Celestine Omeha, that since 2015 that we have been winning them, that 2027 will not be an exception.
That we are ready to move the forward.
The rally was attended by several dignitaries, including former federal lawmaker Chidi Wihioka, former Works Commissioner Ezemoye Ezekiel Amadi, Professor Nath Abraham, and Professor Prince Chinedu Mom. Also, the APC chairmanship candidate for Abua Odra local government, Owolobi Michael Ofori, says he's committed to running a transparent, inclusive, and growth-driven administration if elected in the August 30th Rivers Council polls. He gave the assurance at the party's campaign flag-off in Abua Odra for over the weekend. Michael Ofori also thanked Governor Nyesom Wike for what he called his continued support for the Abua Odra people, saying they will always reciprocate his goodwill.
Standing with leaders like this, I will not take it for granted. I will respect and honor everything and advice I get from them so that we can lead this local government to a better place. We will strive to see that security that we have put in place will sustain it so that development can come. I want to use this opportunity to thank my boss, Ifechukwu Nyesom Wike. I will not fail you people because I did not fail him.
Meanwhile, the leader of the Rainbow Coalition and Renewed Hope family in Abua Odra, Professor Henry Ogiri, says stakeholders and residents are backing Michael Ofori because of his track record.
So he has a lot of people to learn from. And all this will result to a successful tenure for Owo. All we want from you is to give 100% support. Do we have another candidate in the world? So our candidate is Engineer Owolobi Michael Ofori. Owo is a youth-friendly chairman.
Well, we're not done with politics. This time, let's take you to Ahoda East, where the APC chairmanship candidate Solomon Aduba Ochoma says he plans to fast-track development if elected. Ochoma says his focus will be on human capital development, education, healthcare, and securing lives and property.
I envision a prosperous and inclusive future for the LGA, marked by transparency, good governance, and sustainable development. The reason why we want to serve them, we want to promote democracy, and of course, we want to realize human potentials and create conditions for prosperity and progress. And there will be empowerment across. We will be doing a lot of skills acquisition for them. We will commence extensive infrastructural development by building essential services.
He also promised to partner with traditional rulers, security agencies, and local security outfits to maintain peace in the area, which he believes is key to attracting both local and foreign investors.
What we intend to do is to create conditions that will allow our people to move and transact freely across the LGA. And of course, we are going to achieve that by partnering with the existing security structure and, of course, our traditional institutions. Our youth bodies will have to be involved as well. The CDCs, community development, will have to be involved. We will also partner with duly registered local security outfits.
Still to come, we have another political story that has something to do with FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Don't touch the dial, as we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Truba Elites Foundation.
You're welcome back. Now, PDP governors have warned the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and others not to disrupt the party's national convention scheduled for November 15 in Ibadan. The warning came after a meeting in Gusau, where the governors also reaffirmed their support for the party's National Executive Committee resolutions, urging members to resist effort to disrupt the convention. The governors also accused the federal government of intimidation during recent by-elections. Away from politics, the Nigeria Labour Congress wants the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to suspend its plan to review the pay of political office holders. NLC President Joe Ajero says the move is insensitive and will only widen the gap between politicians and civil servants. He wants the current earnings of public officials and the benchmark for the proposed review to be made public. In a statement, Ajero warns that going ahead with the plan could worsen poverty and spark widespread anger. Earlier, we had the NLC National Assistant Secretary General Onyeka Chris on Nigeria Info's Morning Crossfire with Ifemi Andrew. He argued that politicians are already enjoying abundance and more pay will only encourage unproductive acts.
It's very, very insensitive. It is morally wrong for a nation that says it is fiscally insufficient to now embark on spending such humongous amounts of salary on particular office holders at the detriment of Nigerian workers and Nigerian citizens. It is wrong. Because when you increase the salaries for political office holders, what you are doing is that when they get this money, what do? They travel more abroad because what you are trying to them is an addition for them to do all of those things that are not productive.
To security matters now. A group of prominent Nigerians under the platform Concerned Nigerian Leaders is calling for the urgent creation of a presidential task force on national security. They say the task force should have special powers, work directly with the National Security Advisor, and coordinate emergency measures to stop the killings across the country. One of the signatories, former Aviation Minister Osita Chidoka, spoke to our correspondent Onwara Animobodo. He says the level of violence in Nigeria has reached a dangerous point and urgent steps must be taken to protect citizens. He adds that the proposed task force should coordinate directly with security agencies and be empowered to act fast.
We, the Rivers Grassroots Network, hails the Supreme Court landmark judgment in the recent political dispute affecting Rivers State. We congratulate Rivers people on this significant victory and commend the Supreme Court for upholding democratic principles. The judgment is a testament to independence and integrity of the judiciary. The Supreme Court decision has finally resolved a prolonged political crisis.
Apologies for that. Now, the former minister also called for unity, insisting that the violence must be treated as a common enemy.
All these issues, we should look at it beyond the war going on in the northeast and in the northwest as in where, but also to the fact that Nigeria as a country, we need to come together again and see this violence as a common enemy, not an enemy of the government, not an enemy of any individual or group of individuals, but as an enemy of the Nigerian state. Anybody that uses violence to enforce his ideology becomes automatically an enemy of the Nigerian state. And that, we believe, will go a long way in helping us resolve this crisis.
Now, other signatories include former Rivers APC governorship candidate Tony Cole, Kadaria Ahmed, Ugo Ebujo, Nuruddin Mohammed, Dr. Ali Bapayo Adamu, Mohammed Abdullahi, and Frank Weke Jr., among others. Back here in River State, the social cultural group Ogoni Mothers is congratulating Emmanuel Deya on his appointment as chairman of the Board of Trustees of High Prep. They are also celebrating Dr. Fred Mako and other prominent Ogoni sons who made it into the board. This is contained in a statement signed by their president, Priscilla Vikue, and Vice President Victoria Mbo. The Ogoni Mothers say they believe the new leadership will deliver a cleaner environment, better infrastructure, and more opportunities for people in Ogoni. They also wished the new chairman and members of the board wisdom, strength, and success as they take on the responsibility of making the Ogoni people proud. And now to business. The Directors Guild of Nigeria says it is partnering with NYSC through the Said program. President of the Guild, Uche Abo, says the initiative will help core members gain skills in filmmaking, digital content creation, and storytelling. The NYSC Director General also welcomed the plan. We go on another short commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the news. Harriman has condemned global silence on the suffering of children in Gaza, warning that history will judge leaders and ambassadors who fail to speak up. Speaking on Nigeria Info's Borderlines with Ireti Bakare Yusuf, Harriman described Gaza's children as living in fear, with many orphans and amputees battling trauma and suicidal thoughts. He accused Western powers of enabling Israel's actions and singled out UNICEF ambassador David Beckham for his silence.
Israel wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't supported by an alliance of Western. You have to understand, in Gaza, the children are scared. When they walk outside, they look at the floor now. They have chronic insomnia because as soon as they go to sleep, they have nightmares that reminds them why they are orphaned. I didn't single out David Beckham just because he's famous. I singled him out because how on earth can you be a goodwill ambassador for a children's charity and say nothing about the one place in the world where children are being annihilated?
Well, that's the news, but before we go, here is a recap of the major stories we brought you this hour. Now, you heard lawyers questioning the legality of movement restriction as Rwanda introduces monthly sanitation. We also brought you various reports from some local government as preparations heat up again ahead of August 30th local government elections. We reported that the PDP governors have warned FCT Minister Wike against derailing convention, and we told you that the NLC has asked federal government to stop pay review for political office holders. The news was edited by Ufoma Ebamono. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.